Well, greetings friends and welcome back. No points for guessing that I'm not in my usual recording spaces. That's right, I'm traveling for work. The other thing you might be thinking to yourself is, what the hell's up with the mustache? Well, the video after this one I will explain all about what's happening here and a few other bits and bobs. But for now, we are having a look at the less discussed parts of the Sony WH-1000X-M4. One of them should be that Sony needs to work out how to do better names. Anyway, let's check it out. Now by now you've already worked out what we do with boxes on this channel. We do not do unboxings of any description because you can look at a different channel for that. Equally, there's plenty of reviews of why these things are allegedly amazing, so are there any problems with them? And indeed there are, which is what I'm going to help you out with. Now first of all, you can see them on my head just to give you an impression of what they actually look like. They're quite stylish, they're pretty comfortable, and I don't know, they're good. Now one of the main selling points about these set of headphones is their noise cancelling abilities. Now if you're like me, you had noise cancelling headphones back in the day when we could aeroplane travel around the world, and you're probably a little bit skeptical about it because if you're anything like me, those headphones made you feel like you had two boxes bashing your ears constantly for the pressure that they created. Well, let me assure you first of all that the noise cancelling in this is very nice, it's subtle, it's beautiful, it does an excellent job. But there's not much point me showing you noise cancelling in this room. Now it's obviously a little bit harder than normal to get on airplanes and do travel, but one thing we can do is get in the car. Which is exactly what I've done here. Now I reckon my diesel van is a reasonable analogy for an Airbus or the drone of public transport. And as a result, I have come here to do this test for you guys. Now, what I've got is I've got a microphone linked up to the recorder in the back, which I'm not sure if you can see, in the actual earpiece. So in a second, I'll be able to give you a bit of a feel for what this thing does in terms of its noise cancelling and also in terms of its audio quality, which is pretty spectacular to say the least. So I'll shut up, and in 15 seconds what will happen is that this will switch into noise cancelling mode, but even before that I'll switch to the audio as soon as I finish talking so that you can hear what the headset sounds like, and then I'll cycle through the headset just without music playing, and then with some music playing you'll see the differences. So here we go, 15 seconds of quiet, and we'll cut to the noise cancelling functions.
Ambient sound. Ambient sound control off.
Alright, so that's with nothing actually playing through the headphones, but that gives you an idea of what effect it actually has in terms of the noise cancelling aspect. Now what we might do is we'll run through the same test again with a couple of different tracks and listen to some music through these different types of noise cancelling programs, I suppose you could call them. So here we go.
Ambient sound control off. Noise cancelling.
could feel so right, could slow down down time like this. If
Ambient sound.
eyes and in your mind, baby, it's crazy to fall so soon. Give it all to you. Hey,
Ambient sound control off.
but they say please promise me you'll stay, 'cause I'm not going anywhere.
Thank you, me in the car. Now you see my beard has magically disappeared again. So yes, this noise cancelling and the ambient sound control is actually really cool in these headphones. And the noise cancelling in particular, when it comes to a diesel engine or that sort of rumble of a low bassy kind of engine, it completely eliminates it. In fact, it's a little bit weird because it makes you feel like you're deaf. You can still feel the rumble of the engine through your feet and through the steering wheel, but there is no noise whatsoever. It is a bizarre experience. A good one, but a bizarre one. The ambient sound control I was a little bit skeptical of. In fact, I've got ambient sound control turned on at the moment, which is allowing me to speak to you without having that sort of massive reverberation going on in my own skull, although there is a little bit. And finally, noise cancelling turned off, or the final version, is essentially just the cups themselves doing all of the work. So just the material, the foam, the pleather or whatever it is that's pushing against your skull blocks out a fair bit of the noise around you itself. But it's sort of the same as any other headphone that you would have that, sits really nicely on your ears. But of course, sitting nicely on your ears is a double-edged sword because it makes these really, really hot. In fact, I tried doing some exercise in these. It's impossible. You just sweat. Inside, outside the cups, it's really gross. In fact, even a bit of light housework after an hour or so, you'll feel really sweaty and these cups will make your ears really hot, and obviously there's no way for the sweat to go, so they'll just be gross and wet. Don't buy a second-hand set of these. Ew. Now to talk a little bit about the ambient sound control again, so there's 0 to 20 levels effectively that you can access through the app, and you can also turn on focus on voice, which, well, it's supposed to boost the treble parts of the sound around you. It will listen to the sound around you through the mics and relay it into the ear cups themselves. I would say steer very clear of the voice or the focus on voice because it really amps up the noise floor and makes it very noisy. But anything that just gets rid of all the ambient sound is actually really nice. So I have it set on 20 at the moment. It's I get a little bit of the bassy rumble from my own voice reverberating back to me, but otherwise I can actually hear my voice echoing in the room and I can hear all the other sounds in the room really well. So apologies if the sound's a bit echoey. So one of the other reviews that I looked at said that having the ambient sound control is basically like not wearing the headphones at all, which is absurd. The best that it gets is looking through, I don't know, like a muslin or a fly screen. Imagine that in terms of your vision, and that's kind of what's happening in terms of the audio. So it's a reasonable representation of what's going on in the outside world, but it's certainly not like you're not wearing headphones at all. The other thing I noticed about the ambient sound is the other day when I was stacking the dishwasher, a few times there was a large sort of spike in noise, a big bang or something as I put in one of the dishes. And what I found, the ambient sound control was actually listening out for that, and when there was a big spike, it would attenuate that noise. So the big clang didn't actually come through quite as much. Now, I'm certainly not thinking that these could be used as hearing protection. In fact, I wouldn't try it, even in noise cancelling mode. But it was interesting to see that it's kind of actively looking out for that sort of stuff and doesn't relay that straight into your ear holes. So that's nice. Now, the other thing about the XM4 versus the XM3s, its predecessor, is that it can connect to two devices. This sounds good in principle and was one of the reasons that I bought these particular set of headphones instead of the XM3s because, during lockdown I thought laptop, phone, bonza. It should work well, but there is a fatal flaw. And that being when the laptop is connected to, or whatever it is that you're working on, first of all, is connected to device 2 and your phone is connected to device 1. Let's say that you're on a Zoom call or an MS Teams call or what have you for work, and then your phone rings, it will actually switch over to device 1, to completely disabling the voice call that you're having on the laptop, and your phone rings. Now, even if you obviously hang up on it because you're in the middle of a Zoom call and you're being nice to your other Zoom participants, you hang up on the phone call, you don't pick it up, it won't actually reinstate device 2 because it's linked back to device 1. So it has some issues going back and forth between the two. Now, the other feature that I thought was going to be really good was the speak to chat, which sounds bizarre, almost as bizarre as the name of the headphones. But what it effectively does is it pauses whatever's playing when you start speaking. And the idea behind that is if you walk into your cafe or what have you, you can order your food, it will pause what you're listening to because you've started speaking, and be able to interact with the person while still wearing the headphones. And again, those mics pick up the external audio and allow you to hear what the person's saying and make your order. And then after a predetermined period of time, the music or what have you starts playing again, and also it reinstates whatever audio noise cancelling or audio situation you had going on there. So let's say, for example, you're on noise cancelling and you walk into the coffee shop. You can't actually hear what the person's saying until you start speaking, so you'll find yourself going or something silly before you start speaking to allow the headphones to hear you and to pause, the music to allow you to make your order. The other thing is you can set the interval of how long it stays paused and the audio from outside coming in to 15, 30 and etc. seconds. It's defaulted to 30, which I think is a very long time. I would reduce that to 15. But of course the problem is you make your order, the person acknowledges it. If that process of them talking lasts for more than 15 seconds, then again, your audio will switch back on and you'll go back into noise cancelling mode. On the other end of the spectrum is if you're listening to, say, a funny podcast or you want to sing along with your song that you're listening to, as soon as you laugh, sneeze, cough, or start singing, the thing that you're listening to that you're singing along with or laughing at will pause because it will think that you're trying to talk. So it's a bit of a hit and miss, that one. The idea is good, but you can't kind of make any noises yourself, otherwise it will pause what you're listening to. One other feature I wanted to talk to you about is the active sound control. Now, the idea behind this is it's location specific and it tries to learn what you do in specific locations. The theory is there, but if you're wearing it at home and you're doing housework, it will think that you're doing exercise. So it will learn that home is where you do ambient sound control because you're running around exercising or what have you. And then it will refuse adamantly to turn onto noise cancelling without every few seconds trying to switch you back to ambient sound control mode, which is really annoying. So overall, do I regret my decision? It is hard to say. The headphones themselves sound amazing. So again, it's difficult to convey what they sound like. And obviously they come in a box, which is down there somewhere. So you can't really rip them out, put them on your head in a store, not that you probably want to during COVID anyway, and listen what they sound like before you buy them. But rest assured that they sound very, very nice. The bass replication is really good, as is the treble and mid zones. Great instrument separation, good for podcasts, good for classical music, good for thrash metal, and whatever else you want to listen to. So if all you want to know is, are they a good headphone that sounds great? Thumbs up. But I did want to talk about a few of these features which all the other reviewers seem to gloss over because they focus on all the positives, of which there are many, but they don't really give you that, other side of the coin, if you will. So in conclusion, I hope this review has been helpful to help you make your own purchase decisions for yourself. I won't leave any links. I don't have any affiliations with Sony or Amazon or anyone else, so you can feel free to search the reviewers or the products pages yourself. And I obviously purchased this product with my own money, hence I'm not bound to say wonderful things about this if I don't want to. The pleasures of consumerism. Well, again, I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Catch you guys.